Hey everyone, Joshua Hanlon here, and today I'm with Doug Davis at It's a Block Party. This is one of the largest Lego stores in the country. There's roughly about 10,000 sets inside the store here. You also travel to dozens of shows throughout the whole country every year, so your operation is crazy, and we're going to be taking a look at tons of super rare sets and just the really incredible stock that you have here. So what can you show us in this area right here?
Wow, from right here where we're standing at, we've got all kinds of idea sets, architecture sets, tons of big stuff like the Coliseum, the Mindstorms, the train sets, all the goodies that everybody likes to come in and pick up. We also have a little calendar there that shows the different shows that we're going to be on the road with. We're trying to hit about 45 shows that we're traveling with this year.
That's incredible. So in addition to everything that we're going to see in the store here, you also hit those like 45 shows and have tons of stock there if people want to pick up stuff.
Tons of stock, absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome.
And we do ship. I don't have much of an online presence, but we will ship.
There we go. And we've got some custom stuff here as well. So what's the story with this build?
So this is Algo, and our Indie Lug member. And he built this pirate cabinet with the guns on top. And these all open, show off everything. He actually has a whole series of different pieces of furniture that are all made of Lego that look like a chest or a cabinet or things like that. But it's all 100% made of Lego, but it's functional.
Yeah, I love this. This is super cool. You got like the whole like stage set up there and everything. That's a really neat display. So do you try to always have custom displays in addition to the regular sets and things in the store?
We'd love to have custom and rare stuff in here any chance we can.
Perfect. And then how about in the glass underneath here as we start to take a look in these areas?
So that cabinet there is all animals, dinosaurs, things that are non-Lego minifigures. And then this cabinet here is a lot of custom printed things like from Brickforge, Big Kid Bricks, different companies that we've picked up over the time traveling and things.
And as we can see here already, and we'll see throughout the store, you've got just an incredible amount of stock here. So how do you decide typically how to display things here? Is it just kind of put out as much as you can for people to look through, almost like a library type display?
I cannot take any credit for any kind of displays out here. That's Kelly and the guys here on the staff. They do all this. I can merchandise with the best of them, but this is beyond me because I'm not here enough to do this. So this is all put out by them, constantly refined, constantly put in a different organizational method so that it's grouped by theme, and they do a fantastic job without me, okay?
That's fantastic, and we can mention that you mentioned the staff there, so how many people are typically kind of working in the store here? What is your team like?
On an average day right now with school out, 7 to 10 people in the store usually working on something.
That's a sizable operation, yeah.
It is, especially if you buy lunch or something, it's very sizable.
So we can make our way over to this side and we start to see the ever popular Star Wars stuff here, and you've got a great mixture, so take us through some of what you have featured in this case.
So some of the things in here, a lot of the old school stuff makes it in here, like the Duel on Mustafar, the Jango Fett Slave 1, still sealed in original box. There is a Cloud City here that's still sealed in box. That's one of my favorites.
This is the infamous Cloud City minifigure that's in there and everything.
Yes, sir. Everything's in here.
Wow.
All sealed. It's got the exclusive base plates that are only in that set. Has the Cloud City Boba Fett and the Lando that's got the rare cape in it. And we also have those figures over here we'll get to in the rare cabinet too and show you those figs close up.
Now we see some of the white boxes here, so tell us as we see those throughout the store, what is that?
So the dozens and dozens of great people that we have working for us take all these sets apart. They verify everything is complete, make sure all the stickers are on that are supposed to be there. The instruction booklets are in most of these, so they go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. Again, that's not my detail specific. I'm not that expert, okay? So I depend on other people that will do that and make sure that those are 100% complete and ready to go. So a lot of times, like on the bottom, there's a used Rancor pit that's $325. There's a sealed one up higher that's $550. You know, that's up to you to decide, is it worth $200 to bust a piece of tape or not, okay? Because that set is the same as that new set. I guarantee it.
But you've got options for people that way.
Oh, absolutely.
What they're looking for. Yeah.
If you're a real collector and you want a sealed box, we've got that. If I don't have it here, I've got it somewhere else probably. Mm-hmm. And we do shuffle some things around, bring stuff in as people need them. We do ship to everywhere.
Very nice.
Some of the new stuff when it comes out, like the Hocus Pocus set, the Atari and the Bowser and the typewriter.
Do you try to keep kind of all of the currently available sets in stock, or is it primarily old retired stuff that you offer?
We try to keep everything in stock that's out, but we really focus on rounding up more older, rare stuff, retired things.
The unique things that you can't, can't
Yeah.
just walk into any Lego store and
Yeah.
get, that kind of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be a competitor to Walmart to
Right.
sell new stuff. That's not my main focus. Main focus definitely is look at all the cool rare stuff here. Things you can't go to Walmart and get.
Speaking of which, you've got this incredible, I mean, it looks like we walked into a Lego store from like 30, 40 years ago with your selection here. I mean, this is just incredible to see all this with the boxes.
Yeah, all those are in the ones in the box. All have the original instructions, all the stickers, everything is in the box. Some of these come in and people never built all of it. They built like bag one or the first bag, not labeled one, and then they just forgot about it and they found it in a closet because they saw an advertisement that we buy, and they come in with the most rare stuff ever.
Yeah.
And I buy it because that's my job.
So you see tons of Forestman stuff there, obviously even the smaller sets, but then lots of Harry Potter as well up here.
That Shrieking Shack, I had never seen a Shrieking Shack, and I thought I was pretty well versed in Lego, and I never have seen that before that box came in the store. And I think the Durmström ship is behind that one. And then of course, Lord of the Rings and the other stuff that's gotten super popular lately, we try our best to keep that in stock, but if we have more than 2 or 3 sets at a time, I'd be shocked.
Wow.
Just can't find it.
And then behind you here is tons more minifigures, so you can see a great selection as well, kind of representing lots of different themes.
So we try to group them by theme now. And then we also do a little bit easier things. We try to price them so the bottom row's $10, next row's $12, top row's $15. There's a few plates that are more than that. If it's a really expensive figure, a lot of times it ends up in that tall Timex case right there, or it ends up in the spinning rear cabinet over there that's all lit up pretty. So if you turn this one, you'll find there's a row of Space Guys. There's a Scooby-Doo row over here. There's all the Dimensions packs and the Sesame Street Castle. Try to put all the Iron Men on one plate.
Marvel, DC stuff represented, yeah. Lots of fantastic stuff there.
And with as many people as we have on staff, it's really easy because somebody's an expert in everything. So they handle that section normally.
Does each employee kind of have their specialty in terms of if somebody maybe brings stuff into the store to sell, will somebody be like, oh, well, we can grab this person and they know a lot about that theme?
Absolutely. And they can shorten the wait time for us to buy things from people, because if you already know the price of something and it comes in the door, it's expedited that way. Because, hey, how much does this Ninjago ship go for? Oh, I know off the top of my head it's $100, So we know exactly where we're starting at. And we do have when we were over there by the animal cabinet, that is a dedicated buy and trade window. So when somebody comes in, they literally walk straight in the door into the buy window if they've got something they want to sell.
And you get a lot of people coming in to sell stuff, right?
Tons. On Saturdays, there's usually a line of 5 to 6 people deep bringing stuff in to sell or trade. Because we do both. And
Yeah.
a lot of kids like to come in and trade figures, and mostly kids trade, adults sell. Normally.
Gotcha. And John has been showing a lot more of those figures here. So yeah, you can see just some of everything. You get the original like old yellow Star Wars figures from the very early years.
I'm an equal opportunity hoarder, so I try to make sure we have everything in stock. And then coming around on the top is going to be the original Cloud City figures coming up to you.
I love your unique displays here that you can spin around and stuff and create some. Those are fun in and of themselves.
A friend of mine actually ordered that, got it in, fixed the motor, brought it to us as a grand opening present.
Awesome.
And I had another buddy, the Harry Potter cabinet we showed, a friend of mine got that at an auction like 2 weeks ago, and he's like, you think you can use this for something? Oh yeah, absolutely can use that. And then if kids want to stop and look at something, there's a little break on there so they can stare at it all day long and see all the cool features.
Across from there is more sets over here. So we see some Technic. I see a little Bionicle back in there. What all do you have on these shelves?
Well, usually I have a lot more Bionicle, but it seems like when someone comes in that's a Bionicle fan, they buy half of what I have out.
Okay.
Like one trip, 10 things. And So I have a young man that comes up from Louisville, Kentucky that does Bionicles for us once or twice a month. He also travels sometimes and does shows with us, but he has a massive storage back in the back of Bionicle parts, and that's his job, is to put Bionicle guys together. And he's very, very good at it.
He's your Bionicle guy.
Yes.
That's,
And again, that is not my forte. I buy it and it goes into a tote. That's what I do with it.
What is this thing in the very back here?
Oh,
It's
the
caught my
insectoids.
eye. I don't know if we can slide this out here.
Absolutely.
So this like comes with a giant mask or
Comes
something?
with a mask. It's big enough to put on your head. And this one has all the parts in it to build that Lego set, and then you can wear the mask for Halloween or, Saturday night if it's something special.
Oh, there's an example. I'm not sure
see?
that really. I don't know about
Now,
that.
I have a loose one of those up here somewhere, and I have. Did they really? Okay, somebody already bought it. That literally went out Saturday, and today's Wednesday, and it's already gone. So, but I had it on my face. It does fit, and I have kind of a big head. The M-Tron magnetizer. A lot of people like that.
Yeah,
set.
one of the iconic kind of M-Tron designs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Lego monorail, space monorail next to that.
I think you have another monorail represented over here as well, right?
Yes, that was the, what is it, the airport shuttle one, right? Mm-hmm. I believe that's what that is.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had never had one of those sets come into the store ever in 10 years. And we were in Chicago, set up at a show. Young man bought that from me as an investment. It was still sealed in box. And it went by. And then 4 hours later, a guy came in and sold me that exact set, but it was used. So I owned two for the short span of 1 day. And have never owned another
You were
one
rich
since.
in monorail,
Yes, absolutely.
Here we see tons more castle. It looks like you've got 3 of these Black Monarchs castle represented here. So it's amazing that you were able to stock like so much of these old sets like this. There's enough people that bring stuff in.
Yes.
You're able to keep that in stock.
Yeah, that's the main reason that we keep the store. And then we have a heat seal machine, so the parts are usually separated by color, verified that they're not discolored, no cracks, no bite marks, the dog didn't get a hold of it or anything, and those pieces are replaced. And we have vintage parts, so it's the exact same color gray when we replace it.
For people who are not able to make it to the archive in Billund, Denmark, your store is pretty much as close as you can get. I mean, this is insane. They don't have 3 copies of this set in the archive.
Everybody should have that. And there's a couple of old ones like the Wolfpack Tower. That one's a pretty popular set. We've got 2 of those right now.
I always love the flip-up boxes. I
do too.
really wish when they had redone the Eldorado Fortress that they would have brought that packaging
They should
back.
have done that.
That would have been amazing.
Especially with the little castle, fortress cutouts
Right.
and that. I think that
so
would have been
good.
super cool.
And then we've got all sorts of unique stuff down here. Here's the Knight's Kingdom. Oh, here's this is an interesting packaging here.
Magic
Castle box with cutout doors. So, oh wow, look at that. So like the box itself was like part of the packaging.
Part of
and
the
you can play
playset,
with
yeah.
it.
That might have been back more my time frame than yours.
Let's see
few
if
years
they're-
ago.
1994. There you go. Do you ever just, get lost spending hours going through the old stuff in the store? Just
yeah.
kind of, yeah.
Oh, gosh,
I
yeah.
mean,
But I have a huge personal collection of stuff, and I have a couple of like the pirate ships on my shelf, and then something new comes in. I'm like, man, that would really look good on my shelf, and I know I don't have room for it, so then I just leave it here. But I get to play with it, and the other guys get to verify it, and I get to look at it. So that helps out a lot.
there you go.
There's only so much Lego that you can put in an office that is the size that I have. It's pretty packed right now. But I'm always looking to upgrade.
And here is that, we mentioned the new Eldorado Fortress, so you've got that in stock.
Yep.
For people who want the newer designs as well, that's always nice.
That is a really cool build, though.
That is, yeah. I mean, the fact that they took the base plate and brick build it all, I
Yes.
mean, just adds a whole new element to it.
Yeah. And then you've got the ones that have the raised base plates in here. I love that King's Castle with the raised base
And the
plate.
ghost figure, always still one of my favorite figures that they did.
And I'm sure it's probably radioactive or something. You think? All that glowing in the dark stuff.
Then we got tons of sealed Harry Potter here and some used stuff on the bottom there.
Yep, some of the
Okay.
older stuff on the bottom. Unfortunately, some of that came in. I didn't get the original boxes, but one of the things that David does, the manager for us, he maintains an inventory of all the old Lego boxes that we have. So I haven't brought 100% of what I have at home, but there's a good portion. There's probably 500 Lego boxes here hidden underneath some of the tables. So if the set comes in, he can look at the list and see if we have that original box and put it back with that original set. So it goes out on the shelf in the original box instead of the white cardboard.
Yeah, great. So you hold on to the boxes that come
Yes.
in then, so
Yep.
you can put that
So
stuff
if
together.
people ever don't want the boxes, we always tell them we take them, we'll recycle them or do something with them. If we can't use them, we'll find a new home for them. I have no problem with people dropping off boxes.
Perfect. And let's see what we have next here. I see some Lego Movie stuff. You've got several copies of some of the Jurassic World things here. This is all kind of, oh, and then the old Dino Attack stuff, which I love some of these old Dino Attack sets.
Yes. And I love the Dino Attacks, especially if you get the T-Rex that actually has the lights and still work in his eyes. I love that stuff. I may have that in my office too.
Then of course you got to have the superhero stuff represented. So we see shelves of Marvel, some of the DC things here as well. Some of the used superheroes things down there. So a really good selection of all of this.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is really, really nice. And then we got some smaller stuff here. So what is represented? I see some older stuff.
So what we do with these, instead of putting them in cardboard boxes and taking up a lot more room, a lot of times we'll put them back in a bag, heat seal them. It's separated by color, by brick, by minifigs. That way you can buy the whole set, and it's easier to see on this than it is to find it in a box on the shelf. So this thing holds hundreds of Lego sets versus that would hold 50.
Right. That makes sense.
And you can flip through the bags and see what you like. A lot of older stuff here. And it always says, with minifigs, no minifigs, so you know what you're getting.
You even got some of the Mixels there, old Atlantis, a little bit of Alien Conquest stuff.
There's Alien Conquest on the backside. The other day we had the Atlantis poly bag that had the sub in it. I had not seen in a long time. And then one of the sets that came in was Duel on Mustafar, and I was able to upgrade my personal collection, a sealed box instead of the used one that I had. So that was pretty cool to me. But there's a lot of different themes. Pretty much any bag sets we try to put close to the theme. So if we have a Marvel poly bag, it'll be next to the Marvel or the DC shelf.
Do you get customers coming in very often looking for like a specific older set, some of this older stuff?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you have like somebody's like, I have this one specific set in mind and that's what?
In that glass case up front, it's been probably 2 months ago when I was here on a Saturday, and a guy comes in, he goes, man, I wish I could find a set I used to have. I said, what was it? He goes, oh, it was a little airport scene and had part of a racetrack and had this. And I go, was it set 6750? And he goes, oh, I have no idea. I said, was it called the something other, whatever it was? He goes, yeah, that was it. I go, I think it's right there. He turns around and is like, oh my God, that's the one I need right there. So that's kind of fun to, it's not messing with people if you have it, right?
Yeah, no, I think that's such a great example of what makes a store like this so incredible is someone can come in with like something from their childhood like that, and it's like just a brief explanation of it, and you've got it physically in the store. This isn't something that, you're like, oh, well, we have it online or whatever. It's physically here for them to get in the store.
And I'm real picky about, I would love to have a bigger online presence. I would love to have all these sets listed, but I don't, because if you come in to buy it, you can walk away with it today. I don't have to pull it off of an inventory of online stuff. I will do all online inventory separate. I do show 1 separate when we travel. I have a show 2 that we travel with. It is all separate inventory. I don't have time to find it. It's over here, it's over there, and we don't mix them back and forth. So
yeah.
I just need to hoard more stuff so that we can satisfy all needs.
The key is to always hoard more. I think that's the answer to all of the problems.
Can I get you on record to say that?
Yes, absolutely.
Sometimes people say, Doug, you gotta stop buying stuff. No, they gave me a loading dock with this building for a reason. Clearly, I need to buy more stuff.
And that's a good time to mention, so you've been in the Indianapolis area for a while, but this is a somewhat recent building for you, right?
Yeah, so a lot of people knew where we were at Edgewood and Madison Avenue. We were next to a vintage toy store, and we had about 1,200 square feet, counting the closet and the bathroom. I sell real estate for a living. This is my side gig, and I was able to find this building. It's a little over 5,000 square feet, and we purchased it and moved in Black Friday of 2021. So within the last 2 years, we have moved so that we do have a new, bigger location. before you would have to go outside the building to change your mind. You don't have to do that here. There's plenty of wide aisles, tons of space. People can look without bumping into each other. It is miles ahead of where we were.
Okay, that's fantastic. No, I love this. You walk in and there's just actual aisles that you can go down and explore all the different sets you've got on display. You have some bulk as well, so it's not just the sets themselves that people just want the bulk.
So we do a ton of pick-a-bricks, and what I like about this is kind of a feature we just added. There's a table here, so if you want to practice and see what you're building to make sure you got the right parts, you can sit here and build with it and make sure you got the right things on there. And then sometimes parents, grandparents are not as excited about Lego as maybe the grandson or the granddaughter, and they sit here and play on their phone or whatever, and everybody's happy.
There you go. You try to reach all customers.
Yes. And this was something that was a great idea, and it wasn't mine, okay? Like many things, it's not my idea. So
moving back over here, we see tons more Star Wars stuff, and again, a variety of ages. Like this is, I know, a lot of legendary Star Wars set here with the Republic dropship with AT-OT that a lot of people absolutely love this set.
Yes,
so
that's
you've got
one of my
this
favorites.
with the box and everything.
Yeah, that one's still brand new.
Yeah.
So in our store, anything with a white tag is used, and it'll have an explanation of what it comes with and if it's missing anything. Anything with any color neon tag is brand new in the box, sealed.
Okay, fantastic. And as we move around the corner, then you come to a variety of parts here. This looks like an AFOL's, Lego collection. So what's the story with all this?
So we set out years ago to do a Build-A-Fig, and we started really small bins and realized you cannot put a ton of people around a really small bin. So we went to a ridiculously larger size bin, two-sided tables, and people love the Build-A-Fig. And we try very hard to make sure we have more new pieces, better selection, better anything in the Build-A-Fig than any show we ever go to, and especially in the store. We have the best Build-A-Fig of anybody, guarantee it. So they can also, when they get their 2 accessories for the Build-A-Fig, they can also pick from the dollar bin items that are over here, or they can buy a dozen items for $10 out of the dollar bins. And we have super cool things like power crystals and spheres and translucent green rocks.
Yeah, for your minifigure, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and there's tons of things. So you get it, you get a shooter. I tried to figure out a way to put this on my name tag, but it wasn't happening. But you get that in the dollar bin. How cool is that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, playability.
That was never in the picture when I was a kid. Okay, never. You had to throw that stuff at your brother. So
You're just trying to give today's kids a better experience than you had.
Absolutely. And believe me, I had more Lego than anybody as a kid. My dad did a great job of making sure he would bring home a box, a tote, a truckload, whatever.
Wow.
I had more Lego than anybody growing up, okay? And which is why I built a gigantic space station on top of my dad's station wagon when I was about 8. And he's like, well, that's really cool, but it takes up the whole top of the car. How am I supposed to drive the car? Well, that's future Doug's problem. That wasn't current Doug's problem, okay? So that the big space station had to go away. I think I got a picture of it somewhere, but I've always been into building giant things. And that's, I'm not just an owner of a resale Lego shop. I'm an AFOL. I build stuff. I love to enjoy stuff. I collect things. I do it all with Lego.
Yep. No, I love that. This is a great time to mention this massive display that you have over here and talking about, being an AFOL. We've actually featured a couple of your huge custom layouts in videos on Beyond the Brick over the years. So this one might look familiar to people from a few years ago. You had a giant Star Wars layout, and this is just part of it. So what do we have here?
So this is basically just the Battle Droid factory part of it. My son, when I was going to open the store, was adamant that we needed to have this on display, and I was like, dude, I got to finish painting. I'm not really focused on that. So he took this on to get it out, put it back up. So we put this here with a mini battlefield around it. They have me inside getting arrested in the It's a Block Party shirt there. So I'm in trouble apparently. But it was listed by me as a RE/MAX agent on the top right there. But it's sold, okay?
I love that. You've got your custom RE/MAX bricks.
When you've been doing it for 23 years, you pick up a few things, okay?
And here's a photo of what the whole layout looked like, and we'll make sure to put a link to that video in the description of this
awesome.
one. So if people haven't seen that layout, it is absolutely fantastic. I love that you've preserve some of this on display in the store so that people can still appreciate it.
I'm glad he talked me into it. I was really like, dude, we don't have time to do this. We've got to open the store. And I was bound and determined, even if we had to open it with a folding card table sitting on the sidewalk, we were going to open the store on Black Friday. Okay? It was going to happen. So, but he got it all done, and it looks good. It was supposed to be the display of the month. So far, it's been up about 15 months, maybe. So
Hey, it just keeps being the
just
display of the
wins.
month.
Yeah, it just wins every
nothing has
month.
beat it out.
well, you'll see we get in the back. There's a few things in the way to get another display out to swap this one, but we will get to it eventually.
For sure.
And then kind of over here, we have like a little, say a Duplo area, a little toddler area, things that are more geared for smaller builders, younger builders.
Which is good. I mean, the Duplo products are still a big part of Lego's lineup every
absolutely.
year, and I'm sure you get a lot of people looking for that for the younger kids.
Oh, we do. We get a ton of grandparents come in, especially Christmas shopping and stuff, looking for Duplo because a lot of the stores sell out because they usually only have 3 or 4 different choices at one time in the store. We have 50, 60 right there. So long-term holding pays off again.
Yeah.
So. And then you can buy individual animals and things like that.
You've also got this old, some old stuff here. This is like an old, just like basic brick system box that just says basic on top there. Let's see what this is from 1994. And then you've got this is like containers for bricks.
Yep. So back in the day, I had one of those. I still have it. I'm sorry. I still have mine. And when I do a Boy Scout merit badge collecting class, I bring that case with me because that's my original case. And it still has my address on it because I bought my parents' house when they passed away. So I still have my original case. And I put a bunch of collectible minifigs in there. And we go talk about collecting merit badge. And it's a 2-hour thing. And
Nice.
they learn how to collect stuff. And I show them, what a hoarder looks like.
You're very good at collecting things.
Very good at collecting things. People think I'm rich. I'm just really irresponsible,
Different ends of the spectrum.
It's all in perspective.
You've got some sets here as well. So are these ones sealed too?
Those are sealed.
Okay,
yeah.
great. I love the old Ninja stuff there. Before all these kids had Ninjago these days, this is the OG Ninja right here. I love this.
And I thought, when I first saw it, I thought it was the one that has the gold trim, the dragon. I got all excited because it was going to go in my collection. But unfortunately, I have that one. I needed the other one.
Oh, okay.
So it stayed at the store.
And then the massive Star Destroyer there as well. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I have one of those built in the back. That one's still sealed in the box. And I believe that is like the old gray, not the new gray. So that's what makes that one a little bit more special.
And as we move around the corner, you've got a lot of stuff built here, including the Black Falcon's fortress.
Good eye.
Yeah. I mean, we've gotten the new figures and everything, so I think there's been a big renewed interest in that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially by me.
And
David is our castle guy back there. He builds a lot of stuff from scratch. Parts come in and he just picks them up and puts them back in the box. He goes, oh, look, I made you this set. Oh, great. So he gets to play as much as we do.
Perfect. Tons more minifigures here as well. So is it difficult to find space for some of this stuff in the store? Like, is it, we have this stuff, but we just don't have a place to put it out?
I think there's always space. So you can always find a place to put something. That does kind of make a few people mad that work here. But there's always a place you can put something, okay?
There you go. I like that.
You just got to rearrange it and then it'll work out. But it's a constantly growing thing. That we didn't start out with this much stuff in here. It gets a little bit more packed, and then we'll trim some down, have a big sale. And I thought we had a bunch of more Star Wars back there that we'll see here in a minute. And I was like, holy cow, I need to buy some more stuff. And she's like, no, you don't. I got some of it in storage. We put some of it away. Oh, okay. I don't feel as bad.
You're just always concerned there's not enough.
I got to have more.
Yeah, right.
I got to have it all.
And we see this fantastic rotating case here with more minifigures. So again, just a really fun way to display it and let people see a lot of stuff.
So that cabinet was in a building that I sold for a real estate client, and I kept eyeing that, and she said, are you wanting that? I go, I would love that. And she goes, if you sell this building, I'll give it to you. I said, deal, we'll do it. So I sold the building, went and picked it up. The lights still worked when I plugged it in. There was no power on in the building. So we got it here, put it in. The lights all worked. They're original neon tubes, and that used to be a jewelry display case, and it's probably 60 years old.
Wow.
And I love it. That's one of my favorite things to show off.
So it's vintage furniture, Lego, just some of it,
all
something
of
for
it.
everybody.
Yes. And then that's our premium accessories in there. So we have a lot of big kid bricks, custom lightsaber hilts. They can make any combination of lightsaber that they want to put in there. And we have a bunch of the, like Count Dooku lightsabers and Kylo Rens and stuff like that.
And then you've got some older rare stuff up here, including, I think, is that some of the old Samsonite gears?
That's a Samsonite gear set.
Yeah.
And it was steel sealed. Unfortunately, we broke part of the plastic on it, but it was original and still sealed in the package when my friend brought it in to sell to me. And I think that was like 58, 1960 maybe, somewhere in that range. And it was up in his closet. And he's like, I don't really need this, do you? Yeah, I said, I'd buy it from you. And he told me a price. And I said, how about I give you more than that? It's worth a lot more than that.
We were in Colorado earlier this year and drove by the old Samsonite factory building. They've taken down, there used to be like Lego bricks and stuff on the outside, but they've taken it down. But the building itself is still there. It's used by somebody else.
What do they do with the Lego bricks?
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. You can try to track them down to bring some.
I'd love to have some giant Lego bricks out. I'm getting ready to make some, so I would love to have some giant Lego bricks outside.
You've got other unique figures like the Technic stuff down here as well.
Some of the old guys,
Yeah.
yeah. And then those are two of the wooden Lego men, I guess, that it's online now that you can buy. And an artist turned it into Venom and Spider-Man for us.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I thought those are pretty cool. And then some of the old Bionicle guys, people come in and, again, we won't sell one of those for a month, and then some guy will come in and buy 30 of those, you know.
Mm-hmm. Is there a lot of stuff in the store like that kind of comes and goes in waves, or is Bionicle?
It definitely is in waves. Sometimes we'll have like a whole extra shelf out with city stuff, and then somebody will come in wanting to do a giant mock, and they'll buy, 20 boxes. Mm-hmm. Great for me, and we can scale it back down a little bit. I do want to show you this.
Yeah.
This is super cool. So,
get this down, take a closer look.
You guys have seen the outside of the building. Some people don't know, but I have a giant mural painted on the outside of my building. So one of the guys that works for us named Paul designed this and gave it to us for a Christmas present. And on Saturdays, my friend Josh's grandmother comes in, and we call her head of security. A lot of times she sleeps comfortably over in the corner after she reads her paper and things. But we have this built for us by Paul, and this has an upstairs, which I don't have an upstairs. But there's our birthday party room, our verification room. And then in here, we have Lego Doug selling minifigs, a ton of custom printed sets all around the outside edge. This one is kind of a joke. If you open it up, I've got stuff piled in there so much you can't get in the back door. That may be true most days.
That's closer to the truth than any of the rest of the building.
Absolutely is. Absolutely is. So we're sitting there talking about it when he brings it in. And Josh's grandma was listening, and I took it all apart and showed it to him. And she goes, Joshua, you didn't tell me Doug had an upstairs. And he goes, Grandma, we don't have an upstairs. He goes, that's just a build of Lego. That's not. I was like, well, I got all these supports in here. Maybe we could go up. So maybe someday the real store will match this thing when we get it all done.
There we go. Yeah. No, this is a great build, though. It's fun to see those interior details, very modular building-esque here, and you even got the cars outside and everything.
He is over the top good with this thing.
It even has our dumpster.
Yeah, it has a dumpster
The
like we really have.
That is super fun. Do you have people who want to display custom stuff like that in the store? Do you try to work with builders if they have displays or something?
Especially, I've had a lot of guys in the last couple of weeks that are doing 4-H projects. 4-H is huge around here, agricultural stuff, and they build different contests to build Lego things, and then somebody comes out and judges it. I was supposed to judge one, but I got a conflict. I got to be out of town when they're judging it. So they come in and build all kinds of cool stuff, and then they send me pictures of what they did, which I love. So like one young man built like the OK Corral, and built it with all the horses and all the cowboys and all the stuff in there. And I thought it was so cool because I'm one of those old Western fans,
Oh, yeah.
So to me, that was great. And I've had guys build like a Olympic-sized swimming pool, and they put in the 4-H projects. And it's not just, hey, I'm going to go buy a Death Star and I'm going to win because it's a Death Star. they actually have to build something custom. So they come in and go, hey, I need 5 of these and 2 of these and 1 of those, and we find it and get them set up for it. So it works out great. That's like for a couple of months, those guys are here every 2 or 3 days. And then, can you get that building out?
You got some more you want to show over here?
I would
as
love
well?
to show
Yeah,
this one.
for sure. Yeah.
I don't know how fast we can get it out, but so this one, my friend Steven that does the parts in the back, he built that. That's me in a suit. It's a very rare opportunity that I wear a suit.
I thought you'd have one on today for the video, but turns out.
If I had a Lego one, I'd wear it. Okay. So that is a Remax office that my friend Steven built for me. So it's all red, white, and blue. We had custom tiles printed. There are little house flyers in there on the wall, and he built that modular, and then I put a billboard at the top so that Doug Davis, Remax, sells indie, that kind of thing. I thought it's super cute, and I'd love to show it off if we can get to it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have had that already.
No, that's
out and
fine. I
ready
mean,
to
you've
go.
got all these great displays here, so you want to get it out and show everything. Perfect. There you go.
Steven builds gigantic trucks that are all motorized from everywhere in the world.
Yes, build Palm City.
There we go. So this is your corner modular right here.
This is. I'm not sure how much you can get in there, John, but
Yeah.
it's everything, for an apartment upstairs. Not as a realtor, I'm trying to promote apartments, we sell houses, but. And more super details inside.
I love it.
I have so many talented friends, it's crazy. Because you know me, I'm a Star Wars guy. I'm not a building guy. I do have buildings, but not as cool as this. So
The floor design is very unique there.
It's all red, white, and blue. It's got a desk in there, a little water cooler, and all the tile work that he did. I just love it. If he ever retires from Lego, he's going to give it to me.
Perfect.
Make sure I have that on record.
Yes.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. And then when we were in Chicago, one of our favorite things about Chicago is participating in the charity auction. So Melissa bought this at the auction. It is from Fleur Watkins, I believe is how you pronounce her name. She was a Lego contestant on the Australian Lego Masters. So that's basically a tea and crumpet party.
I love that. Yeah. All the way from Australia?
All the way from Australia.
Very cool.
She brought it with her to show off, and then she sold it at the end. Did you get my
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I love how involved you guys are in the conventions as well. So it's not just the retail aspect. And I mean, we touched on that earlier with the displays and stuff, but I think that's really worth kind of hitting home here is just how involved you are with community and how much that plays into everything you do with
yeah.
Lego then.
We just marched in the town of Southport, which is where we're at here in Indianapolis. We did their 4th of July parade. And we had a few guys in there out throwing candy, and Kelly was in a Lego brick costume, which was pretty cool. And we got to participate. I actually walked a mile, so that's pretty good for me. It's not like I was chasing Lego down or like a flea market or anything. I actually had to walk in the heat for the whole mile for that. So we threw out candy, gave out coupons, so the whole town of Southport can come in and basically build a minifigure for whoever they want to build. And we just gave away a lot of candy and a lot of minifigs. So it's always good for us to do that.
That is so much fun. And I don't think we've touched on this kind of middle display here. So I see a bunch of Minecraft on that side. You got a lot of Ninjago, and then it looks like maybe some of the bigger cars here as well.
And some of that rare Chima on the bottom there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I can't make fun of Chima because Brian that works with us, he is a big Chima fan. He's
Oh,
a
boy.
Chima expert. And then we have a lot of Technic cars. We have a lot of people come in that put together their first Technic set, and then when they hit the remote, it turns right instead of going straight. So I have a couple guys on staff that really excel at Technic builds and gearing, and I have one man that lives down in southern Indiana. He comes up and gets stuff that we can't handle and takes it home, and embarrassingly in like an hour has it all fixed and running and everything's fine, which is still cool. But Bill is my Technic guy, okay? He actually finds some really rare stuff and brings in, but he's only been doing Lego for about 3 years now and has a very, very sizable Technic collection. he's a farmer for a living, and he has a huge room of all kinds of Technic builds of
Wow.
everything. So he brought in, you've heard the Osprey,
Yeah.
the Lego set that they discontinued real quick because it looked like a military jet. He was in a store down there, and a guy came in to sell 2 of them, and they didn't have money to buy it. So he bought both of them and brought me one because he knew I wanted one for my son. So I have a sealed box one that I got to give him for a Christmas present. But last year, the Razor Crest UCS thing won out over the Osprey. So
Gotcha.
that's next year's Jacob's problem. Yeah.
Wow, yeah. Too many good options out there.
There were so many good options for Christmas this year.
And then here we see a ton of Avatar. This is the Elves
All the
theme,
elves,
which I
yes.
don't think sold real well, but had some really unique parts. in it.
Those are so expensive after retirement.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous how expensive those are, but there's a huge following for the elf stuff. They really should look at bringing that back. There are so many cool pieces in those, different colors, unique things. I love the elf stuff, and I have to hoard them every time I see some. I gotta hoard them.
And then behind us here is the classic Lego City lineup. So, no Lego collection is complete without the city sets.
And we try to make sure we have everything. There's, the helicopters and the train sets and the big 4-wheel drive monster trucks. You got to have this stuff on it. Younger kids that come in love this section. And then we have like poly bags and the smaller city stuff over on that corner rack there that spins.
There's some really, really old stuff here too. The rescue helicopter here.
Isn't that cool?
Wow. This is from, I can't even make out the year there, but yeah. This is quite an old set here.
And one of the stories I love, I was at a garage sale and people make fun of me, but I swear I have a sense when there's Lego near me, something tingles, okay? And I'm there talking to this guy, and he's probably in his mid-70s. And I said, "But any Lego stuff here?" He goes, "Lego stuff? No." I said, "Are you sure?" And he goes, "I'm positive." So I'm looking around for a minute, and I go, I know you have some Lego stuff here. I said, "Little plastic bricks?" And he goes, "Oh, is that what you're talking about?" And I said, "Yeah, little Lego pieces that you put together." "Oh, yeah, I got a bunch of that. Hang on a minute." So he pulls 2 big cases out. He was a dentist before he retired. So he had 2 cases of this set.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
$20 a piece. And this was probably 20 years ago, okay? And I said, "Well, would you be interested in selling those?" He goes, "Yeah." I mean, he goes, "They're not worth much." I go, "Well, I bet they're worth something." I didn't look at them. This is before cell phones. And I said, "I'll take both of them off your hands if you want to sell them." So he sold me both boxes for $25. There was 80 in each box.
Oh my.
So I've been selling them now for 20 years, and now they're up to $20. They were only $5 when I first started, and now they're up to 20. But he had some, and if you came into his dental office and you didn't have a cavity, you got a box of Lego. Dude, I'd have been a dentist every day if I knew that you could get free Lego.
You would have had the best teeth.
I would have had the best teeth in the world. They really need to start that back up, because I'd probably go, even as an adult, I'd go to the dentist if I got free Lego.
But that story illustrates a really important point about the whole store here is this isn't something that just pops up overnight. Your level of knowledge in this collection, you've been doing this a long time. So how long have you been kind of involved in the community and kind of buying and selling with Lego?
I don't know exact year, but I know when I was like 3, I was given all my older brother's Lego collections. And I have pictures, like my 2nd birthday party, I got Lego pictures of the things I got for my birthday presents, okay? So there's never been a time that I have not played with Lego. And I am 53 years old right now, and I've always hoarded. So it's a long time. So
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. But yeah, you can really see how that comes through with everything here. And now we've come to this far wall, which has, I think, all Star Wars, it looks like, in both
Yes.
the glass and the shelves there.
So this is my favorite area of the store. You know me, I'm more of a Star Wars fan than anything. So we want to make sure we've got several UCS sets, like the Imperial Star Destroyer, the Death Star 2, TIE Fighter, Blockade Runner, B-Wing, the Red 5 X-Wing. We try to make sure we have a lot of great Star Wars stuff. We have a Republic gunship. We have an original AT-TE that has the old school Phase 1 clones in it. That I'm surprised I didn't steal the clones and try to like not sell it with the clones, but they're in there. And we try to make sure that all these things are 100% complete. when we put them out, and if not, we also take things apart. But that is great eye candy to me. I mean,
Yeah.
when I walk in the store, that's what I want to see. And when I travel to do Lego shows, I stop at all the bricks and minifigs I can. I stop at any local mom and pop Lego shop. I got Lego in my phone as I'm driving. If something pops up, hey, detour. We're going 45 minutes that way because there's something that says Lego in it. So we love to visit other resale shops. I love to support other resale shops. You know, I would always give away my free advice. It's worth exactly what you pay for it. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's nothing, okay? But, you know, I want to make sure that everybody that sells Lego, I love to go and be a part of it. So,
Yeah.
obviously I want to buy stuff, but even if I don't buy stuff, I'll still give you my opinion.
That's so cool. Is it difficult for you to part with some of this stuff sometimes, or do you know that there's always new stuff coming in? So
When I said I was a long-term hoarder, I own one of every Star Wars set ever made, with the exceptions of San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. I have a few that I like, but I didn't go after, you know, the ones that are like $3,000.
right.
Not interested. I can build those without the San Diego Comic-Con logo, be just fine. That's the way I have a complete Indiana Jones sealed in box collection, and the rare San Diego Comic-Con Indiana Jones Jeep that's like $2,300. We built that.
Right.
I don't have the thing that says SDCC on it, but I have it, okay? So I stopped collecting all Star Wars that came out when the Super Star Destroyer came out. So I have one sealed in box, and most of them I have one used one that's built that's on display in my room. So none of this is emotionally attached to me because I already have it.
There you go. That's one way to solve that problem.
That's the
is
easiest
just
way to
already
solve it.
have it all.
Because if not, I mean, if I had to compete with myself, oh my God. You know? You can't buy it and sell it, right?
Exactly. No, that's amazing. I love that. Yeah, so it's just great to hear about kind of your journey and how you've gotten this stuff over the years. You can see John's showing tons more Star Wars, but as we turn the corner, you see an incredible Batman collection now as well. And then over here to the side, we've got a number of different sets, including my all-time favorite set here, which I always have to give a shout out to, Fort Legorado, right here from the Western theme. Just an absolutely legendary set.
So when we had an office meeting and we were talking about you guys coming, we watched the video where you enjoyed that. So that is actually David's Fort Legorado that he brought in to put on display to make sure you could see it.
Shout out to David, big fan, big fan.
He is a Western and a Knights guy, castle and all that kind of stuff.
I love that. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for thinking of us stopping by. It's such a neat set for people who haven't had a chance. Make sure you come in, and that's the cool thing about the store is people can come in and just see this stuff in person as well. Even if they're not buying it, maybe they can't afford some of this older, more expensive stuff, but just seeing this stuff in person is such a treat here as well.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, there's nothing that we can't get out of the cabinet and let you take a look at. I mean, there's nothing that's that fragile that, you know, couldn't go back together. So
Right.
if you want to come in and look at stuff and play with it, we're cool with that. Just let us help you.
Have you ever had someone bring in something like the old, like wooden toys or some of the more unusual Lego products like that maybe isn't the traditional?
Yeah, I've had, I have one wooden car and about 6 metal cars from early 50s that's in my collection at home. I don't want to sell.
Yeah.
So we do have some of that stuff though, for sure. But yeah, everything comes in this door. It always shocks me, like when the Cloud City set came in a few weeks ago. I'm like, who would part with that? But they did. They were tired of it. And, you know, a lot of times spouses, significant others says that they're tired of it. So it comes into me. And I have bought probably 24 first cars for people that wanted to trade their Lego set in for a car.
Wow.
I have done that. So I have no problem with that. I'll buy any size collection. I don't care how big it is. I'll come to you if I need to. I've picked up a lot of collections. I've picked up a lot of collections recently, kind of sad with Lego buddies in the Indie Lug Club that have passed away, and I bought their entire collections. I've had 2 people this summer that had notes on their computers that if something happens, call this guy. You know, not what I want to be famous for, but, you know, I do want all the Lego.
Yeah. But I mean, what a great way though to preserve that collection. It's going to someone who cares about it equally as much as they did. So that's
sure.
really, really cool. Yeah.
And like, you know, Scott Wright passed away a few years ago, and he's on one of your Beyond the Brick
Yeah,
shows.
several
with,
videos we've done.
Yeah, he has done
him.
several
Yeah.
videos. And he had a giant Pirates of the Caribbean display. I have the map, how to put it together. I have the whole collection. It will be on display. However, when you step up to 46 to 50 shows a year, and you don't get to do the one that's 10 minutes from your house, I haven't been able to put it out yet. Okay, but it will happen when I don't have a conflict and we go to Brick World Indy. That will be on display. That is my goal. I'm going to put Geonosis out, and I'm going to put the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff out. So it is going to be shown. It's not going to be in a closet forever, but it's just not yet.
That's so neat, though. Yeah.
But absolutely, it'll be enjoyed, and it will be shown off for years and years. So.
And we haven't mentioned Friends yet, but you've got an entire section of Friends sets here as well. So that theme has now been around, what, like 10 plus years. So there's a lot of time to get some really cool backlog of that as well.
Absolutely. And one of the cool pieces in my personal collection is the bunny hospital that my daughter and I built when she was about 8. And it's still on display. It's got a zip line for faster bunny rescuing. And it's a super cool thing that I will never part with. So I love the Friends line. And I also have Chris Wright's Friends Zoo in the back. That was Scott Wright's wife, and I have her whole zoo that I want to put together sometime. So,
yeah, fantastic. And then we come around to this side here, and where do these larger Lego models come from?
Okay, so in a previous life, I was a restaurant manager for McDonald's for 13 years. Okay, so I was the youngest store manager in the state of Indiana for a while. That Ronald McDonald was given away as a prize in our store, and the guy, when he picked it up, said, "I don't want this thing." So I bought it from him. It's brand new in the box. It's got the little McDonald's cup and everything, so I had to put it on display. Well, then I've bought 2 more since then, so the one I bought and kept at home is still brand new in the box. So I brought the used one up here. I had a guy that was in Illinois that made these, and he also made a Hobbs from Calvin and Hobbes, the Orange Tiger. That one is a home in my personal stuff. He made several corgis and other dogs. We've sold those. He had a panda that we sold, but he made the Wizard, made the Harry Potter. I've got the Django at home, the Hobbs at home, and there's one more of some kind that he made. And I forget his name. I'd give him a shout out, but I've forgotten. I saw my email somewhere, but I just thought they were super cool. And we met halfway between here and Illinois, and I bought them. And then he called me about 3 months later and said, "I got some more." And I said, "I'm in. Where do you want to meet?"
What's the longest you've traveled to pick up a collection from someone in your over the years?
Probably about 5 hours up north side of Chicago. But I didn't travel for just this collection. But the guy knew I was going to be in Oklahoma City, which is about a 13-hour haul for me. So he brought it on Sunday night after the show, and then I had to figure out how to get it in the trailer to bring it home. And some things had to come out of the totes, and literally we're building Duplo bricks that slid between the angles of totes so that we could get everything in the trailer, because it was very bad, very, very bad. And I had my cousin bet me $5 I wasn't going to get it all in there, and I won.
Oh yeah, no. Looking around the store here, I would not make that bet. You clearly have a lot of experience packing things.
I know how to pack stuff tight, and I had to get creative. But my gosh, there was $5 on the line, and that's $5 for the Lego I could spend. And this food pyramid, Brian that works here for us, he has got his custom food pyramid. He's got a big display. He just got into doing his first show over the summer for a Boy Scout traderie that we did, or brickery is what we did. And then he put that, and he had a giant display out. That's pretty cool. And then today, and I was going to wear a really cool Lego shirt versus this one, and I've got it, but it's a food pyramid made of Lego food.
Oh.
He's a dietitian as a living. He's a retired dietitian.
Okay.
So I wore that today to make him jealous, and he was like, "Where'd you get that at?" I was like, "Well, now that you know it exists, you can find one."
One thing that's super cool here as we walk around the store is you've got so many fun, unique things mixed in. So like you see this super old gas station set just mixed in below like Chima and Ninjago here. And so it's just like an adventure and a discovery as you walk around the store, whatever you're gonna see next.
You have to look around or you will miss stuff. I promise that. And things change literally every day. People bring in stuff and new stuff goes out. We have a list of people that are looking for modular buildings, and I am super low on modulars right now because as soon as I get them in, they're gone. And a lot of times we'll call and say, hey, we've got a town hall in. Are you interested? And if they don't want it, we go to the next person in line. But usually somebody on that list buys it and doesn't even make it to the shelf. So, and I'd love to have it on the shelf, because it's eye candy. It's cool.
There you go. And I see some like custom stuff down there as well.
I do have people bring in a lot of custom stuff. I think that was is it a police station? I can't see it exactly.
I think so, or just some restaurants and stuff, kind of like a mall almost.
Some little mini modulars came in one time, and they had to lit them all up, and we put them out, and half of them sold really fast that didn't have the lights, but people didn't want the lights, so we took all the lights out, used them in our builds, and then the modulars sold right away. I don't know why anybody would not want a modular that was lit up. That doesn't make any sense to me. Because we sell products from Blinky Bricks that light up lightsabers, light up ray guns that flash, and flashing lights on your fire trucks and stuff like that. And we love that aspect of putting more detail out there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Here we see some architecture sets. I absolutely love those. One of my favorite themes, just because we travel so much for Beyond the Brick, it's really cool to get the sets that kind of represent the areas we've been to and everything, and so that's super neat. But then next to that, which I think you might have had some Galador earlier on as well.
I do have some Galador up there.
We see
there's some sealed McDonald's poly bags that are Galador up there, and then that's the full size. I forget what his name is.
I think it's like Nepal, maybe something like that. But yeah, there's some unique characters in there.
There was one I looked up earlier. It was like Oedipus or something. I'm like, what? Who names a thing that?
There was a lot going on with that theme.
I've had a bunch of that. I had a guy who was at Chicago. He traded a bunch of that in, and I thought, what am I going to do with this Galador stuff? And I had it sitting on the table. And I hadn't priced it yet. I hadn't done anything with it. And I processed his stuff, priced it, and put it out. And I was getting ready to work on the Galador, and a guy walks up and he goes, oh my God, you've got blah, blah, blah. I go, yeah, I do. And he's like, are you selling it? I go, yeah, make me an offer. And he goes, I'd give you $100 for it. It's yours. It's like, then I looked it up later because I thought, well, maybe I made a mistake. No, I got the better end of that deal.
Perfect. We're in the party room now next to this fantastic figure right here. So what is this guy's name?
Big Doug.
The resemblance is uncanny.
So normally when you stand Big Doug up, he's 10 foot tall. And I have big plans. Instead of the party room, Big Doug is going to be on the roof of the building eventually. So.
Fantastic. That is quite the showpiece to have this on the roof.
No other store has a 10 foot tall styrofoam Big Doug.
But besides Big Doug, I'm sure there's a lot of cool stuff that happens in here. So talk about kind of how you use this room and how can people book this out if they're interested.
Yeah, so they give us a call, do it online. We have an updated schedule. Jen, our party host, comes in. We have a Pinewood Derby track that you can build race cars on, run down here. Normally we have a Chima racing station over here. We have open building in the middle with all those big old parts in there. So the average person has 3 or 4 big ugly rock pieces. There's 300 in the party room. There's a whole 3-pound box of minifigs that they can play with. Tons of stuff goes on here. A Ninjago battle can happen over there. Cake and ice cream and presents and all the good stuff that they get over there. Hopefully after the party they want to have duplicates and they want to sell it to us. Not necessarily, but they can. And then there's a mosaic wall back there in the back that people can build pictures with and make anything you want to. The host will actually help you make any kind of creation that you want to play with. Some of the older kids, we have remote control cars like the 4x4 crawlers and stuff like that. And my buddy Bill custom made a couple of really, really fast race car type things with scoops on the front so we can clean off the table with the remote control cars. That's where we have our fun.
We can see an example here. Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Oh, and it made it all the way.
Lightning McQueen.
Got Lightning McQueen way out in front here. I love it. So, do you do things besides birthday parties in here? Is there all sorts of events that you can host in this room?
We have done several adult events in here, like build nights and things like that. We also travel. We have done a corporate building event about a month ago where we took the Pinewood Derby track and tons of pieces to an architectural firm, and they had a heyday with that. And then actually next Tuesday, we're doing a gymnastics place up on the north side, taking Lego to them, and they're going to have about 150 kids building from giant tubs of Lego bricks and the racetrack and all that stuff that they're doing. So we'll do anything.
That's awesome. Yeah, so that's a really cool thing. In addition to obviously all the products you offer here, is people can book that out as well.
It's great for me because we used to do this and go to their house. If you've never been to a house 3 times on a Saturday, different houses, dragging stuff in and out that's all Lego and listening to kids scream,
Sounds terrible.
highly recommend it. I highly recommend for you to do it because I don't want to do it anymore. So, and we did about 300 parties like that. A friend of mine called me and she's like, "Hey, I got a great idea." And she told me, and I'm like, "That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard." 300 parties later in people's houses, it was not the dumbest idea I ever heard. It's a pretty good idea. So now we do it here, but they come to us, and it's a lot easier.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, Beyond the Brick House visits will not be starting. But speaking of massive quantities of parts, we've come to the back room now.
Yes.
So how does this section of the store work? What do you kind of keep back here?
Okay, so I'm not the expert in this. David has set this system up, free reign. Rack 1, side B, side A. These are all plates, modified or not. These are all curved pieces. This is all modified brick. The standard brick is on this rack right here by size. Some of it's by color also. Over here, there's all Technic on this side, bars and stuff on this side, sorting by landscaping and all the kind of, everything you can think of that's on BrickLink, we have it here in the store, okay? I will never be a BrickLink seller. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Because if I've got to depend on selling a 2x4 for a living, it's not happening, all right? I will go beg on the corner. But if you come in and say, man, I really need one of these 1x1s with a perpendicular bar, our guys will come back here and find you 1 or 2 or whatever, and we'll fix you up. I have people come in, they go, hey, I need 1,000 cones for a project. I'm not your guy for that. But I'll order it on BrickLink and get it in for you, and I won't charge you any shipping usually, because I'll usually find something I want to buy in that store. Because I am acquisitions, I like to buy stuff, so I will buy
You've
stuff.
even got the brick that says it right there.
Absolutely, acquisitions. So I will make sure that if you want 1,000 of these, I'll order them on BrickLink if you don't want to mess with it, and I'll get them in and give them to you.
That's super cool, yeah.
And we usually don't upcharge. I mean, I buy on BrickLink almost every day. I have a lot of Lego. I have more Lego than most anybody I've ever met. Like there's only one guy I know of that has more Lego than I've got. And that's Dan Brown, Plastic Brick Museum. He has me beat on sets, or not on sets. He has me beat on display items and probably just raw brick. But I got more of everything else, okay?
There we go.
But I've met a couple 100,000 people in the Lego world. I know I got a lot of Lego. I still have to buy stuff on BrickLink almost every stinking day.
So that should make everyone feel better. You know, if you're working on a mock at home or something and don't have the right pieces, there's really no amount you can have to ever have enough.
There's never enough. Never, ever, ever enough.
I want to shout out the incredible organization of this system here as well. So I've been in the back room of a lot of Lego stores and collections and stuff, and rarely is it this well organized.
Well, nice. That's awesome. So I have a lady who works for us, who's a good friend of mine. Her name is Christy. She makes all these labels up. David and Stephen supervise the shelves and how they go in the drawers and everything. And she also runs our verification department. So when sets come in, we have them verified. If they're missing a piece or two, we have a most wanted list that she prints out so that all the guys that come back here as they're looking for stuff will look for parts on that list. If those parts aren't here, we don't have a certain dark pink, log profile brick, then it's my job to order it. So she puts it on a list. I go shopping, I hit the wanted list. I get mad because the first 10 people on the list are like 1,000 times more expensive than they should be. And then I end up finding stuff and I order it. So when the parts come in, she finishes it, goes back to David. David puts it all in the heat bags, seals it all up, puts it in a box, puts a label on it, says what's wrong with it if there is anything. Otherwise, it's complete, and sends it on down the line. And some of the things that we've done this summer that I am beyond happy with, we have a list. Every Lego set that we touch, new or used, there's 2 different lists, goes in the computer. So if I touch a Cloud City and I put a price to it, and then another Cloud City comes in, they already know the price. They don't have to wait for me to come in and price it. It's already priced and on the shelf, because we use that database to make sure that everything is the same. So if I pack for show 1, pack for show 2, or I'm here at the store, or I do a little local Boy Scout show, all my prices are the same wherever I go, because it's already in the, on the dot in the system, and it's done, okay? And I love that more than probably anything in this whole store. I don't have to guess what to put on something. It's there. All I got to do is look it up. So if I put in the set number, there will be a price in there with figs, without figs, brand new in the box. Already done.
Yeah.
And everything's the same.
I mean, I can only imagine how difficult it is with this many different products to try to figure out pricing. So a system like that is so important to have when you've got this much going on.
And I told you I used to work at McDonald's. Everything at McDonald's is a system. You have a standard operations checklist for mopping the floor, for grilling a burger, for doing anything. And I love that. I've always kept that in my life. Here's how this is done. Here's how I want it. And then you just find the right people and it gets done. And then you just make sure they're happy all the time.
Perfect. And we'll keep moving back. So there's even more stuff back here. You see some like smaller drawers as well. So are these things just kind of smaller quantities of parts?
Usually smaller parts, smaller quantities, smaller angles. One of the things that I love, they have backstock. So backstock for rack 5A. If you don't have enough slopes in there of a certain color, come to this tote, pull out a bag. There's more stuff that doesn't fit in that drawer. But you put, 20 or 30 of each color in there, and the rest of them are in here. And that way, if somebody does come in, they want to buy 50 of something, yeah, we probably got that. I probably got 1,000, but I don't want to dig 1,000 out.
Yeah.
Okay?
No, that's really cool though.
I'd rather order it.
So we have a lot of people who watch the videos, obviously, who work on mocks and custom stuff at home. And so if they need a certain amount of piece and want to come into the store, you're open to,
Absolutely.
hey, tell us the quantity and we'll see what we can do for you
absolutely.
and see what we can find. Yeah.
And especially if it's something that they want to finish or, get off their plate or something. If they don't want to wait on Bricklink to send it to them or wait for a Lego Bricks and Pieces order, I'm cool with helping anybody out like that. I usually ask, bring me a picture of what you're building. I want to see it. Mostly just because I'm nosy. So, but we have a whole nother rack that we just put in. This is rack 7A and B. We don't have any parts to put on it yet.
I was going to say, I see some empty drawers here. I mean,
it's
I
a lot
think
of
you know what
empty
that means.
This just got built. This got put on hold because Beyond the Brick was coming. So next week, this will be finished.
Clearly, that means acquisitions needs to step it up.
Oh, it's here. We just gotta find distributions where they gotta go. That's all. So I have a storage unit that we cleaned out this back room before you guys came, and there's probably 10,000 pounds of Lego in that storage unit.
Wow.
That's unsorted bulk. Okay. I am on my game. All right. There's only so much room that you could squeeze stuff into, So, and we have a lot of sets back here that are kind of partial, like there was 3 Republic gunships in various stages of life over here. We took those out, built 2 out of the 3 with the parts that we had. So we can get a lot of stuff done. These are left over from the old days when we used to be in the small store, the 1,200 square foot. And we brought them over here, and then we pretty much buried them and never touched them for a year and a half. So we're just now getting to these, and it's already gotten cleaned off quite a bit. And then back there in the corner, you can see there's more bulk hiding over there. There's train parts and plane parts and stuff like that.
Yeah, that is so much here. It's just incredible. So with things like you talked to the incredible amount of bulk that you have in storage. So that's all for the most part just stuff that people have brought in or collections you've been able to pick up. There's enough people bringing that stuff in that you're just able to have all that.
I should have put a revolving door in here when we opened the store because we could have used it.
How do people typically hear about you? Is it the fact you've been around kind of long enough, or do people say kind of how they? Because this is a really unique thing to have a store like this where you can come in and bring your Lego, and I mean the amount of people you get in the door is pretty crazy.
It is. There's a lot of people that come in here, and we do pay for Google placement. So if you put in the word Lego and you're in Indiana, I will be one or two. There is a Lego store here, so sometimes they win, sometimes I win. But
I've been to the
First
official
two.
Lego store in Indianapolis. It's nothing compared to that.
it is a little smaller
Sadly,
than we
our
are.
official Lego store isn't real great.
But we do have a new store manager that just took over. The lady that opened the store is no longer with Lego. So I'm looking forward to reestablishing that relationship, because that was not a good relationship for us for a while.
Okay.
I was a competitor, apparently, even though we're all selling the same thing, and I'm buying from them. Somehow we were competitors. So I'm looking forward to establishing a new relationship with the Lego store manager, and maybe being able to shop there again would be awesome.
That's always good. But now we'll move into yet another room back here.
This is the vault.
So this, now we've reached the vault.
We've reached the vault. So the vault, I have always bought a lot of Lego. Like I said, I typically store about a third to a half of what I buy, and I sell it in 3 to 5 years from now. So I don't touch it for 3 to 5 years. So back in the vault, there are about 75 moving boxes of product that's here. A lot more boxes in other locations, other places around town. There's about 600 boxes of aging Lego sets, and each box holds 20 to 30 Lego sets, basically. So there's quite a bit of inventory that people, when they come a year from now, or 2 years from now, or 3 years from now, will be old and retired, and we'll be able to sell it a little bit cheaper than a lot of people can, because we bought it when it was out and just have set on it.
Yeah,
So-
and you're fortunate to have the space to be able to do that and then provide that service to people.
Melissa does not think it's fortunate that I have that kind of space. We stayed in an Airbnb not too long ago for a show we were doing in Lexington, and that was the first thing she commented when we were there. It's like, wow, this is what a house is cleaned up and looks like that doesn't have Lego everywhere.
No more Airbnbs, only hotels after.
That's exactly what I said. We're going back to staying at the Marriott. That's it. So I took a lot of chewing for that, because, and the house was really nice, and there was no Lego anywhere. And I thought, I feel naked, you know?
Yeah, what a boring house.
What a
I mean-
boring house, exactly. So, there's a couple rooms in my house I'm not allowed to have Lego in, and I'm cool with that. You know, the rest of them I make up for it. I stack it floor to ceiling.
Now, another really unique thing that you store in here is a lot of the custom layouts. So I know we saw some of your Star Wars stuff, and I think some of that is in here. You mentioned Scott Wright. I think is his collection
Yes,
in
sir.
here as well?
Yep. So I had several Indie Lug members that have passed away, and I bought their collection. This is the Battle of the 300. This is one that my son made probably when he was about 15, 16 years old. There's a whole front of it that snaps onto this, and it's where the elephants get pushed off in the Battle of the 300, the Persians versus the Greeks. And you guys have probably recognized that. We were on a road trip with a brand new truck. That used to be the top floor of the Hoth that's on Beyond the Brick.
Yeah.
However, it took a little shaking between Indianapolis and Pennsylvania, and that's on the list to repair. We're going to get that back in order, I swear.
That's good. You hate to see a build end up like that.
Really, because I really love that scene, because we have the walking AT-ATs. We have a Rebel snow speeder that goes around in a circle on a train track buried in the snow. It's a really cool one, and we lit it up and all kind of stuff. We have gun turrets that move back and forth and look like they're firing. We'll have to build it bigger and better, okay? It will come back someday. But like Christmas gift and hobby show here in Indianapolis, we normally do a big city layout. So a lot of these buildings, there's skyscrapers back behind that gray tote. I can probably pull this out a little bit here. So there's giant skyscrapers. One of them's the example of a children's museum that's pretty famous in Indianapolis. So we have some dinosaur layouts and things like that in them. So that usually, when we do Christmas gift and hobby show, we make a city that is about 40 by 40, I believe, complete with, working trains and all kinds of cool stuff everywhere. I usually get to break my old Zeppelin out, hang it from the ceiling. We don't get the Zeppelin out very often.
Yes, as someone who was born and raised in the great state of Indiana, I got to give a shout out to the Children's Museum. It's been voted the best children's museum in the world for like many years in a row
really?
now. Yeah,
Wow.
It's incredible. So if anyone's ever traveling through the Indianapolis area, obviously come to this store first, but then go hit up the Children's Museum because it is a super cool experience for kids and adults. There's so much there. I love it. We grew up going there a
Tons of
lot.
stuff to do
Yeah.
there. I love the Children's Museum here too. I didn't know it was voted the best in the country. Though.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so then there's a castle up there. There's
That's
just
one of
everywhere you
Scott's
look,
castle
there's like
keeps.
more and more.
Yep. That's one of Scott's castles that he built. Okay, so this one shelf right here, there's some ATSTs on it, the Star Wars set. I was out of town at a show. A guy called me and said he has a bunch of them. I said, of course, I'm interested. Depends on the price. We work out a price. I called my son. I said, hey, can you run by the store, open the back door? A guy's bringing a bunch of ATSTs. I said, just count them and make sure there's 400 there. And he's like, you just bought 400 ATSTs? I said, no, you are, because you're going to meet him because I'm out of town. So we get it all worked out, and he calls, and he goes, did you realize you bought 2 pallets of ATSTs? I said, no, it sounds way cooler when you say it like that. And he's like, you're getting ridiculous. They should have gave me a loading dock. I have a building with a loading dock. You got to use it, you know? So we bought 2 pallets of ATSTs for a really good price. And those are squeezed in here, but I swear everything else is a display. There's a haunted one on the very top. It's probably got stuff sitting everywhere on it. We haven't had that one out in like 5 years. That's kind of pre-COVID. But that had a haunted mansion on it. All the Draculas and the werewolves and zombies and all that kind of stuff. And it had a lit up lava mountain coming out of it. I'm not sure why. I don't know how that tied in, but that was one of Melissa's builds that she did. So it was really cool when we set it up. And now looking back on it, I'm like, why do we have an exploding volcano in a Monster Fighters thing? Never mind. But it looked cool.
It's Lego.
So,
That's
it's
what
Lego.
you do.
You can do whatever you want to with it. You know, why do I have a Batman on Geonosis all the time? It just sounds good. So a lot of this stuff here is Friends Zoo. There's the Franklin, Indiana courthouse. That is Scott's. Not sure if you guys ever did that one.
We have not seen that one before.
So-
No, that's great.
That is a scale replica of the Johnson County Courthouse in Franklin, Indiana, where Scott lived.
Very nice. Yeah.
You know, all of his stuff was super good, super good. And he had only built probably for 3-4 years, maybe 5 before he passed away. He had just got into Lego.
Yeah, I remember when we started seeing him at the Brickworld shows, and it was just like out of nowhere, and he had these like the big Pirates of the Caribbean displays and stuff, and it was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, he was awesome. I really miss that guy. Every time I build something, I never really have a plan. I have an idea how I want to do things, and it's in my head, and I can kind of draw it out if I got somebody helping me, okay? But Scott was always, you know, get a piece of graph paper or 50, draw out the plan, measure everything, you know, cut once, measure twice. I'm okay, scrap it back to here and start over and do this, you know. We were total different builders, and I love the guy and I miss him to death. So he was a really, really good builder. But most of these, I don't know what's in each box. This looks like the Fort Wayne, Indiana building.
Yeah, the actual, I think he had the actual
Yeah,
fort
he had
that
the actual
the
fort.
city's named after. Yeah, I remember seeing that.
This is only a part of it. But I have his Battle of Gettysburg in here that I will set up sometime. And we will make sure that, I know Scott will haunt me if I don't set it up and follow the plan, so it will be exactly as it was, okay?
Perfect.
And then we have some more Lego storage things back here. We're kind of into the middle of this right now. This is our eBay area. So we do sell online on eBay. We don't do a ton on eBay, but we've hired another person so that we can get more on eBay. And we're also going to be able to shop at itsablockparty.com. So when we do all these shows, if I don't have the Lego set or the minifigure that you want, if I have it online and you put in the code I give you at the show, I'll ship it to you for free because I didn't have it. Normally, we set up 20 foot deep, 80 feet to 100 feet long. That is our retail display booth, and we have 2 different shows that we do that for. So we have total different inventory for show 1, show 2, and the store. And then I got my stuff at home. So if I don't have it, eventually we're going to get to the point we'll send it to you. But
When you set up at a show, if people maybe can't make it into the store here, but it can be one of the shows you're vending at, what is the offerings typically like there? Is it just kind of a smaller version of the type of stuff you have in the store here for the most part, or what can they expect if they see that kind of your display at a show and what they can get there?
So we pack 11 rolling racks, which is about the same number as I have in the store. So I'm literally setting up an entire store every single weekend that we go to a show.
Wow.
And like I said, none of it comes from here.
Yeah.
So we're still always open here, and we're open at the show and the other show. But 11 rolling racks full of product goes in. We have backstock like these. We usually have about 30 boxes of backstock product, so we can refill whatever we sell. Normally we set up 18 lineal feet by 4 foot, 3.5, 4 foot of minifigures at every show. So we usually have 5,000 minifigures on display at a show. And then we also have a gigantic dollar bin, even bigger than what we have here. And then we also have the world's biggest Build-A-Fig. We do an L shape or sometimes a U shape, and we have a person that just stands there and mans Build-A-Fig. So there's more choices at a show than I have here sometimes.
Wow, yeah. Which is incredible when you do, what, like 50 shows a year or whatever, the fact that you're able to not only have this store, but bring that on the road so many places. And you go to a big variety of shows, so basically no matter where someone is in the country, they're probably not too far from a show that you're going to be at some point.
The only shows that we did not sign up for this year because we had so many, we skipped everything on the West Coast. But we have been to Portland, Maine, Lexington, Kentucky. We've been to New Orleans, Oklahoma City. I mean, there's a ton of shows that we do. Albany, New York, Syracuse, New York, Rochester, New York.
Do you post online somewhere if you'll be at a show, or is there a way people can kind of keep track if they want to see where you'll be?
That's a great idea, and I'm going to do that.
You can have that idea for free.
So I appreciate that. We have a board in the store that has all the shows that we're going to. But right now, we do 100% of the Brick Universe shows, the Brick World shows, Brick Convention shows. We do Brick Bash. We do Nebraska Brick Days. I knew I should have wrote these down. There's a lot of shows that are, we were doing Brick Fan Fest. Those are 6 new shows that we're doing in the next 12 months. They just kind of started. They were Atlanta Brick Con.
We went to the Atlanta show earlier this year for the first time we'd been to. Yeah.
That was super cool.
Yeah, and I think it's doubling in size next year. So for people who saw our Atlanta Brick Con videos, that we're going to be back there, and I think they're making that show bigger and, like you said, expanding even more.
It's even, I think it's more than double is what he told me.
Yeah.
Because the fire marshal was not happy with the first year. There was a lot of people in that room. So they're going to make the fire marshal happy this time, and I know it's going to at least double.
Fantastic.
And that's a super cool. They've got tons of good stuff at that show. Not just vendors, but I mean things that are
the
built.
mocks,
and mocks and
for
stuff
sure.
like that. Yeah, and they have a garage sale on Saturday night that I bought a lot of stuff.
I'd expect nothing less. So as we come around this way, then. Oh yeah. So,
this is our secret room.
Oh.
It's not super exciting yet. I know it just looks like a closet, but the previous tenants in this building that we bought used to be woodworkers, and they have a complete ventilation system. So all the air in this room is pulled outside and recirculated, which means future Doug's problem is going to be, how do I get a pad printer and do cool stuff? That's on there. That's on the list, okay? And this is going to be the room for all that once we get it all out of eBay stuff.
It's just do cool stuff is the only item on the to-do
cool
list.
Stuff, yeah. It just depends on what order, that cool stuff gets done. So right now this is just eBay stuff that's on eBay, and there's a bunch of it in the boxes we kind of had to pack up to redo in here. But someday we will have a pad printer, and we'll be like the cool guys at Citizen Brick and all those guys. So maybe not to that scale, but if I want to print, comic books or something cool, we are going to be able to do that.
Perfect.
Oh, speaking of that, I wasn't even the guy that printed these. This came from, now the Lego's watching to make sure. It came from an anonymous source. This is It's a Block Party torsos that I wanted to give to you guys.
Oh,
because I'm sure
nice.
you're Lego fans. And it says 2021 grand opening on the back. very exclusive.
Thank you very much. Yes, we display minifigures in our studio at home,
Oh,
so we
awesome.
can put these. Yeah, we'll put these on display
We'll
in
build
the
you the
studio.
whole fig to go with it. Then up
Awesome.
front.
Yes. Thank you.
I made sure to save a few of those, for special people.
Yes. Thank you very much. Yeah, it says the grand opening there, and it's so cool that you guys were able to move into this bigger space and just offer so much more.
It was so crazy. When we were looking around, I called about this place, and the agent said, no, there's no wiggle room on that. I'm like, really? I mean, not even a little bit? No, nothing. So 2 months goes by. I kept eyeing the place, kept looking at other places because we had to move. We were busting at the seams. For sale by owner sign goes up, and I stopped by and I said, hey, what are you asking for this place? So we took the tour. I knew, this was my place. No matter what it took, this was my place. And we talked price for a little bit, and saw the eyebrow come up when I made my offer, and I was like, okay, we're close. So we negotiated a little bit, bought the building, had it all renovated, moved in like 60 days from the time we bought it.
Wow.
Open for Black Friday, and life has been good. The town of Southport has been so welcoming to us. It's unbelievable. They invited us to the parade, the Easter egg hunt, all the farmers markets, everything we want to do. They're on board. They're all good with it. So I love it. And we have in case you're like me and you're traveling with a travel trailer or a pull behind trailer that's 10 foot tall and 20 feet long, come to our store. We have a parking lot in behind the store that's 20 cars. You can easily bring your tractor, trailer, truck, semi, whatever, and we got room to park.
There you go. You offer opportunities for everyone.
Absolutely.
To come. I love that.
I want all the money. Okay.
Squeezing through between all these boxes.
Sorry, it is a little crowded.
No, that's what makes it so cool. The narrow aisles between the Lego. Now, I know we didn't show earlier as we make our way back out towards the main part of the store here. There's kind of an area behind the desk, I think, that we didn't get a chance to show earlier. So we can show off some more of that as we make our way back out here. Because you've got even more stuff over here. So we saw some of these glass display cases and things earlier. But then if we actually come inside here, so what do you have in these spaces back here?
So back here is kind of logistics wise, if instead of getting the figs off of like the series shelf, this one here that has all the series number 1 through 24 in it. So instead of taking the one out of this rack, we have back stock so we can get it really easy, really fast. Sometimes on a Saturday, there's 3-4 people waiting to check out. So you got to be quick, okay? Otherwise you miss all those dollars. So back here, we got base plates. This here is more of our stuff just to check out. We've got a lot of the visual dictionaries, computer lookup stuff. Got extra parts. Somebody needs a Darth Vader helmet. We got that, okay? Somebody needs a lightsaber. We definitely have that. Mm-hmm. But then more of the rare figures over here, the big kid bricks on the top and in the case.
I absolutely love this here. Do you sell these in the store or is this just a one-off?
We had to win that at Chicago for a brick charity, and we won out against another bricks and minifigs store to get that. So, and it actually will fire that, the ramrod's on there, but it will fire the 1x1 brick.
Wow.
So I thought that was super cool. And it's 3D printed, and then there's the copy of what it was originally meant to be. And then a lot of our friends that are on the Brick Universe tour, like Rocco Biardi and Jonathan Lopez, Paul Hevington, Leah Chan, we have a lot of their autographed photos around the store in different spots, like the big Neptune over there. So love to support people that we're on the road with.
Yeah.
And they're super nice people. So if you get a chance to come in, we sell Paul Hetherington's prints here. And I had a friend come in a couple of days ago that wants a Paul Hetherington autograph print. So I'm going to take it with us in 2 weeks when we go see him again, have him autograph it, and it's going to be a Christmas present. But I'm not mentioning names because she may watch this video.
But you can make that kind of stuff happen.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely. So back here we have minifigure parts, some decorated legs, better hats, better hair. And we say better because a lot of times when stuff comes in, we process things, we put it in a Build-A-Fig. Like if it's not super rare, it goes in a Build-A-Fig. Then we have extra parts that we can fix stuff, make it complete. Over here we have stuff sorted by themes. So we may want to build superheroes one day. We just pull the bag out, open the drawer, and there's tons of superhero parts. So we get the drawers out and try to reconstruct superheroes.
I want to point out what we have happening back here real quick. So contractually obligated to always have someone watching beyond the brick in the store at all times.
That's what he's doing. Yes.
Very, very important part of the process here at the store.
And then in there are mostly like minifigs that we order or comes in. If they're complete, they go into minifigs to be processed, so they end up in the right drawer, the right show, the right inventory. So a lot of parts come through this cabinet.
You've got another custom model here on display.
Yep. So this was Todd Cohen's. It was an Indy Lug member, passed away about a year and a half ago, and he had this, and it is all lit up. It is motorized, so it will roll just like the one in NASA, and it has launch commands that it plays on a sound brick, and it is super cool. It is above my pay grade, so I do not touch this lightly. Okay. But it will do all kinds of cool stuff, and it's a custom mock. So, and then here, if you come in and want to buy something and you say, hey, do you have an instruction booklet for the set I want to buy? Yes, we probably do. And they're all labeled by theme in numerical order by set number.
Wow, organization.
Organization. You got to have a system.
And when you mentioned all the boxes you get earlier as
Yes.
well, so you can see some examples there.
So David has boxes hidden in a couple places, and then these are the more common ones, I guess, right?
No, there's a little bit of everything.
It's just some of everything mixed in.
We have a spreadsheet, so if a SpongeBob set comes in, and we can look up the number and know what shelf that SpongeBob set is on, so we can put it back in the original box if we have it.
Those are in numerical order.
You've got that super old
Numerical
moon
order.
landing box there as well, so even some really
Yes.
older rare stuff too.
Well, and I have two 4x4 Gaylord boxes at my house that it's coming here. We didn't want to do it before you guys came because we didn't know where to put it. But there's probably another 1,000 old boxes from my childhood on that are open for me that I'm bringing into the store. And I know I have like my Blackbeard or the Blackbeard's Bounty, some of the old Galaxy Enforcers, all the stuff I have, my Yellow Castle boxes in there, all that's going to come to the store. So we'll be able to have more.
Perfect.
And then this is like a little verifying room, especially when we can't get into the birthday party room because it's busy right now. So we have to sit out here and verify and organize and do things. But we have like different accessories, different things in the windows over there so people can put stuff together faster.
Yeah, you can see the team all hard at work. This is how it is, what, 16 hours a day you've got them in here?
Man, it feels like it sometimes. But no, really, when you come in, I mean, sometimes it feels like, wow, we've been here 3 hours. It's 6 o'clock. We closed already. So it flies when you're having fun. And this is our heat machine that David personally loves to seal all the Lego parts in and things. And label makers and us, we're on a first name basis, okay?
There you go. I mean, it's that system, like you said. You know, you got
system.
to keep track of everything.
Yeah, and everything gets labeled. Everything that you touch, all of it gets labeled.
And it's such a testament to your employees and the team that you've built here because, as you've talked about, you're on the road a tremendous amount of the year. So that means you've got to be able to rely on people who can run all this store and keep track of what's happening here while you're not here.
Yep. And usually, as long as you keep them in Reese cups that are larger than this big, most of them are happy.
Sometimes the working conditions get a little rough. The little ones, you got to unwrap every bite.
We don't buy the little ones anymore. We just buy the
It's
big
a
Reese
Reese
cup.
Cup based economy within the workforce.
I'll show you the stash of Reese cups in here. So this room is our verification room so that as sets get worked on, they get categorized, and then like that whole tote right there, the verification station, if you come in and say, hey man, I got 2 hours to kill, do you want me to do something? Yeah, grab a bag, whatever theme you want. It's got the paper in it that says who's verifying it, what are you doing, what is it missing, verify it, put it in here, goes to the next step, okay? So the next step gets turned in, and then Christy, that used to work at the Kmart layaway program, comes in here and it gets organized to death, okay? So if we need to know what something is missing, we pull the bag. That's the parts that this needs to put in. So somebody grabs those parts and then she completes it, sends it up the line to the next step.
Fantastic.
So super organized, super proud of this. Again, none of the, maybe I had an idea of this, none of this is executed by me, okay? And I was telling you about the Reese Cup store.
Oh, wow, you weren't kidding. Look at that. Wow.
We are not playing with Reese Cups, okay? Little ones, no good. Big ones, good.
There
Less
we
wrapping.
go. That's fantastic.
And there's probably 10 pounds of Reese Cups in there. I never go below that.
So this is incredible here, this whole store. Like I said earlier, you know, it really is about the closest you can get to feeling like you're in the Lego archive in Denmark, just with the amount of old stuff that you have here. I mean, it's amazing. And then just the bulk stuff and all the used sets and everything, there's so much here. So this is really, really incredible. I appreciate you kind of taking us through and showing all of this off here. So if people do want to see more from you, online, where are you kind of active? Do you have a website set up? How does that typically work?
So you can go to itsablockparty.com. We have a few things on there now. We are expanding to get bigger and better. We will someday have items on there for sale, so people can just click and purchase things. It's not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon, okay? And you can get birthday party information. We got a sheet of links and things we're going to give to you to put on there so that you can find us really easy. Itsablockparty.com does everything. We'll have the show schedules posted on there so people know where we're going to be at. And if you go to the show, if you go to show 2, or if you go here, you will find different inventory items. So if you see something you like, send us an email and we'll make sure to see we can't fix you up.
Yeah, perfect. And are people able to do things like call the store and kind of check on what you have in inventory and that kind of thing?
Yeah.
And you're able to kind of help them out that way. So it's not that they have to physically come in and confirm everything. You're able to see what you've got in stock and help them out with that.
We can see if we've got it in stock in one of the shows, and we can also tell you price and shipping and stuff like that too. So we're pretty well versed in that. Most of the calls we get to the store is, what time do you close?
That works as well.
And we're open pretty much every holiday except like Thanksgiving and Christmas, that kind of stuff. But sometimes on like 4th of July, I bet we had 50 phone calls. What time do you close? Are you open? Yes, we pay Google to tell you that.
Exactly.
But we'll tell you again.
Well, this is absolutely fantastic. So for everyone watching, whether you live in the Indianapolis area, maybe you're just passing through on a road trip or something, definitely make sure to come and check out It's a Block Party. You will not be disappointed in the store here. We'll make sure to have a link to the website in the description of the video, as well as those couple of large Star Wars layouts that we talked about earlier as well. So if you haven't seen some of the large custom displays that Doug has done, those are super impressive as well. So I can't wait to see more from you in the future and see you at shows and just continue to see where the store goes. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you coming out. And if anybody has any questions, just let us know. We'll be glad to help you out.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you very much.